Hello and welcome to another edition of A Chat With. And today we have a very special edition of A Chat With. We have number 12 in your program, number 1 in your hearts from the Charlestown Chiefs, Federal Hockey League champion, Johnny Upton, otherwise known as Allan Nichols. Allan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be
Now,
here.
now Slapshot is not your only thing that you've done. You are, watch this list, a writer, director, producer, composer, singer, musician, and also entrepreneur. You've got a whole lot of hats that you're wearing right now.
Yep.
And let's start off with the fun hat first. Slapshot. How did you get involved with the movie Slapshot and get that role of Johnny Upton? And what were your thoughts on the scene at the fashion show?
Well, that's a two-part question then. So I was introduced to the film, the idea of the film, by a fellow actor, Scott Glenn, who we had both just appeared in Robert Altman's film Nashville together. And we were at Altman's office one day, and Scott came in and said, "Hey, Nichols, you're from Canada. You must play hockey. I just auditioned for a hockey film." So I called my agent and I said, there's apparently a hockey film in town and I'd love to be considered. And so agents do what they do, and they got me an interview, and I went and met George Roy Hill and Paul Newman and the casting director, Marion Doherty, and had a grand old time auditioning a couple of scenes. And they were convinced that I could do it, and just had to see me skate. So the next day I went to a rink in LA, Pickwick Rink, where a lot of figure skaters skated, but they took over the rink. Universal took it over, and I did a skating audition for them, and they were impressed. I was impressed because I hadn't been on the blades in probably 15 years, and so it was great to know that you don't lose it. And I got the role.
Now,
then this part two of the question was
Yes.
the fashion show.
Yes.
Well, my thoughts on the fashion show were thus. I knew that they did a lot of marketing and small town promotion ideas back in the day. There were things like, contests and appearances at hospitals and appearances at various clubs and foundations and stuff. And so take it down to Johnstown, Pennsylvania, small town, struggling town where the mine might be closing and the mill might be closing. And so you have these, I'll say, blue collar families enjoying a fashion show now and then, where the hockey players are the subjects or the mannequins of the fashion show. So I thought it was a great setup and a great idea. And then the scene itself, as written, was written fantastically by Nancy Dowd.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I don't know if fantastically is a word, but
sounded. It is now.
It is now, yeah. Yeah, she wrote that scene, and it was just perfect. And it was just up to me to deliver the words properly in the right order, and I did.
And I know that there are two scenes that are my favorite. That is one of them, and the other is Yves Barrett in his role as the goalie, when he is saying you guys are at the pharmacy / deli.
Yeah.
And he is asked by the pharmacist, was it painful? No, it hurt like hell.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorite scenes in the movie, and I love those scenes. Everybody falls back on, though, I'm listening to the effing song and all those scenes, but those two scenes for me, the reason that your scene stands out for me is because as a semi-pro football team owner, I've been through it.
Yeah.
I've seen my players rebel, and I've seen how that goes. And before I can let something like that happen, I've pulled a guy from an appearance, and that sort of thing. But generally, I found that they were very, very willing to do the things. But your threat is the best on this planet. I swear to God. When you say that line, and then you you the scene sort of changes to the phone, and then you can
Yeah,
hear the screaming in the background. I just vividly get this picture of you actually doing the deed.
right.
And and that's the thing I loved about the movie. Now the movie as a whole is iconic on its own, and it's a movie that, as I've been told a couple of times by Yves Barrett and Guido Tanisi, that it wasn't as successful as had hoped, but it grew.
Oh
How
yeah.
did
No,
how
I
did
mean,
you feel about the fact that it's got longevity? It's got a cult following now. People know you as Johnny Upton. The appearances you guys still do to this day,
oh yeah.
and the popularity of it with the Hanson brothers, with you, with Killer Carlson, with the rest of the guys as well. When they do appearances, that must make you feel so good that you were able to be a part of something like that.
It does, and it was, it's an honor and it's kind of humbling, especially a film that was not received well on its initial release, but grew over the years by a certain cult, certain hockey fans just loving the film and I must credit a couple of areas of that kept it going. Number one was the Hansons, who in fact were real hockey players and not actors, but then became actors and went on to do the sequels and went on to do all manner of appearances in rinks all over the country, and that kept the motion alive of the film. This film has been played on several team buses in several sports. Uh, the other place you have to credit is the French Canadian release of the film. It is so big in the province of Quebec with the French Canadian uh, language version. It's just amazing. I recently did a card show in Toronto. It's a big card show. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like 3 days of hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands of fans seeking autographs. It was just so big this year because they got Mike Tyson to come and they got a wrestler, Ric Flair. So it was like, there was, and it's mainly cards, sports cards, and trading and approved autographs and approved cards, and a few celebs signing autographs. I was there with Kerry Goulet and Stop Concussions. We were trying to raise money for that wonderful foundation of his, and we did, and we had a good time, and I got to run into Marcel Dion, who I had attended a few parties
Wonderful
with.
man.
Oh yeah, we had a great chat. He, I remember when they won I think they won the league that year. We had a big party at his house on the beach. He had a great beachside apartment and had all the guys from the team over. But I digress. Yeah, the idea of the French Canadian version and the popularity in Quebec, and Yvon Barrett's participation in promoting it and keeping it alive has been really great for the film.
Yeah, and it is one of those films that, as I said earlier, has longevity, and it's one of those films that people can recite the lines verbatim. Like I can go to anybody that has seen the movie, and they can list off the lines
Oh yeah,
without even a second thought. And I
yeah,
think that is so cool for the movie and for the sport, because the sport paid off in it as well at the time, because as the movie became more popular, hockey became more popular. But now we move on to today, and things have changed
oh yeah.
with hockey. And we're going to get to that in a couple of minutes. But before we do that, I want to talk about some of the other things that you're doing. You have JB and the Playboys, a cool rock and roll band, and
Yes.
you do some singing, you do some writing, you've done some composing, you've done some, you've have you had the opportunity to record with the band?
Well, we recorded back in the day. We put the JB and the Playboys together back in the early 60s. And we got popular, as bands did, as quick as we could. We had about 3 or 4 hit singles, and we had an album out, and we toured. We toured with the Beach Boys. We were the opening act for the Beach Boys on
Nice.
2 different tours in Canada, and we were the opening act for the Rolling Stones on their first tour in 1965, and they did 5 cities in Canada, and I think the highlight was probably Maple Leaf Gardens for us, and yeah, that was a great gig.
That's a great gig.
Yeah, we played Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, and we played um, I think it was Windsor or London, Ontario, or maybe both. And they were, in those days considered, just starting. The Stones were. They didn't have Satisfaction out. It was the tour. They were touring on a one hit called Not Fade Away.
Right.
And they had just released Time Is on My Side. So they were like newbies. And they were new at it. And it was fun.
Yeah, and that's a great thing because it shows your versatility now. You've done a lot of films, you've done stage productions. Do you have a preference on either one, or do you just prefer to enjoy entertaining as a whole?
I do enjoy entertaining. I enjoy performing. I always have. I think the thing that I like the best is making people happy.
And
I like watching them. I like watching them laugh. I like making them cry if I can. I really do enjoy it, and I think it's I put the band together a couple years ago, just before COVID. I ran into the original guitarist Billy Hill, and we decided to put the band together again, which we did, and it was a bit of a it was great for, like, we played a wonderful musical festival, Hudson Music Festival in Montreal, and sold out the joint and had a grand old time. And it was just like skating. I mean, it was like we'd never gotten off. And it was just really rewarding seeing fans that are our age still enjoying the music, and the fact that we did a lot of original material. So we've kept playing, and we still do like about 5-6 gigs a year, and
nice.
looking for more. And yeah, we'll do some more this coming summer, and hoping to play the Montreal Jazz Fest, and so we do it under the name of JB and the Playboys. And I'm actually considering putting another band together called Captain Johnny, but that's still in the works. I haven't decided.
Captain Johnny and the Chiefs.
Which it's not even Captain Johnny. I'll just call it Captain Johnny. Remember, there was Captain Beefheart.
True enough. True enough.
So names don't have to be anything anymore.
It sounds like that is a great love of yours. But the reason that I'm talking to you today, other than Slapshot, is you have a cool concept going that you have started, and as we've talked about, hockey today has gotten, in my opinion, out of control. When I say that, I mean, like, players are more playing haphazard. They're not really playing with the love and the art of the game. I find it's getting a little, the sticks are getting up. People are not really paying attention to what they're doing, and people are getting hurt. And there's a lot of pressure put on kids nowadays to succeed in hockey. Everyone wants to be the next Connor Bedard. Everybody wants to be the next Wayne Gretzky. Everybody wants to be the next Sidney Crosby. And your concept is basically my favorite game on this planet. Unfortunately, I didn't have never. I live in Hamilton, Ontario, so I don't live near a pond. I'm on the lake,
Yeah.
and Shinny is my favorite game.
Yeah.
And the reason I love Shinny is because in our case, the rules for Shinny were very simple: no slap shots, no contact until you're tired, then it's tackle. And it was just a bunch of good friends getting together, having fun, enjoying time together, playing a beautiful sport.
Were you playing
And
on the street or were you playing
we played ball hockey, and we also played shinny, where we would rent the ice at 12 o'clock at night, and we got to know the guy at the rink. And he
yeah.
would let us, we would pay for 2 hours, but he would let us stay 4 and 5 hours, and we would play and play and play. And very rarely did anybody get hurt. We had one incident in like 5 years that I played with these guys, and that was a guy fell and he cracked his eye, like right around there, and we had to take him to the hospital. But he was more concerned with is there going to be a scar, because chicks dig scars, than he
Yeah.
was concerned about being injured, because it wasn't somebody trying to hurt him. It was an accident, out and out freak accident, and that's the sport that I love: shinny, pond hockey, and that's where you come in. You have a new concept with pond hockey. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to promote pond hockey at every level. I'm trying to encourage the prep school, academy teams, minor league teams, city leagues, school teams, AHL, NHL, to all involve themselves at one point or another in pond hockey. It just seems to me that I mean, if you could take a team on a weekend trip out to play pond hockey, just show them that, no equipment, just throw on your skates, grab a stick, warm sweater, toque, and play pond hockey. Just for the love of the game, get the fresh air in your face. What I'm trying to do, I think I summed it up by saying I'm trying to put the game back in the game, because right now what we have is we're creating wonderful teams. We're creating wonderful players and pairings of defensemen and great lines and superpowers and all these through algorithms and stats and all of the different uh, analytics and algorithms, like I said, and we're creating, like, we're profiling the player to be like a perfect thing, and it's the game of hockey was a game, and it was to get out there and enjoy the game. And I really don't see that many teams enjoying themselves that much anymore.
Yeah,
I see I see decent hits being questioned by the guy that got hit. The guy got a good hit. Take it. It's part of the game. I'm
exactly.
seeing too much of that scuttle that happens around the net after if you touch the goalie, or if you're in the crease, or that after that net presence baloney is just that. It's horrible. And there's little scrums, you know, big defensemen pulling little guys off of it's ridiculous. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just what we need the passion back in the game. The passion that they have in a scrum, put that on the ice, put that during the game. But they forget the game part of it. They forget the joy of it. They're so into, and yes, they're supposed to be, you know, in good shape, and they're supposed to stay, strong and do all your drills and all that. But we're so caught up with who's making how much money, and I better not hit that guy. I mean, people going after Connor Bedard, people not going after Connor Bedard. I don't know. It's just the game has gotten out of control in terms of its logistics. And I just want to see the game back in the game. I want to feel the passion of the game. I can cite a few examples when I've seen it happen recently, but my plan is to somehow install a couple of games, a couple of pond hockey games a year, a couple, if they, if instead of doing those big outdoor stadium games, if they did big outdoor, I know they wouldn't make money, but big outdoor pond hockey games, it would be great. The National Hockey League.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
And you don't need a pond to do that. You could do it on any outdoor rink.
Yeah.
Just get a bunch of buddies, get together, like you said, get your skates, put a pair of gloves on, put on a toque, get your stick, get out there, get a puck, skate
Yeah.
around, laugh, giggle, have fun, and that is what is going to be happening with your first event that'll be happening over in Germany, which is coinciding with Stop Concussions. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Kerry is doing this wonderful thing. It's called the 2023 Christmas Classic, and it's in Berlin. And Kerry's been invited to participate, and it's called the Capitals. I guess the team, the big hockey team used to be the Capitals, and so he's going over there representing Stop Concussions, and that's this December the 8th. So that's this weekend. Oh my gosh, good luck. Have a nice flight, Kerry.
Yeah, no
And,
kidding.
But while he's over there, he's gonna make inroads, and so that we can go over there next year, and Captain Johnny can have a team. We'll call it Captain Johnny, and we'll present pond hockey to more of a mass, and maybe we'll get a couple of slapshot guys on the team, and it's just a way of, as I said, I don't want to oversay it, but it's putting the game back in the game. I talked to people at the Hall of Fame induction this year, and even they agree. I mean, you just have to, it has to be installed, or else we're going to be watching not the sport we love,
Yeah, I'm disappointed in the sport lately. I find sometimes I can't even watch a full game anymore. But I can remember as a kid watching guys like Bobby Orr and Gordie Howe and guys like that were so smooth, so giving up to the game.
Yeah, and we used to love watching the rivalries too.
Yeah,
No rivalries
and
anymore.
now it's just like you said, don't hit that guy, hit that guy, don't hit that guy, hit that guy. Don't
Yeah,
dare pass in front of the net. Don't
yeah,
pass, go behind the net. Don't do that, and it's not even like it was back in the day when it was fighting all the time. It's a different type of violence that's happening now, and it's a dangerous violence that's happening now with
yeah,
sticks getting up and things like that, and a lot of people hitting high as opposed to hitting clean. And like you said, when people are hitting clean, the person being hit is whining, and it's taken away from the beauty of the game, and it's making it into a. I don't even want to say the word spectacle because that could mean a good thing, and it's really not. But
yeah,
I think it's something that's savable, and an event such as yours, maybe it's for now. It will show the people of Berlin the beauty of the game, how it can be, but over time, I think that's something that can expand, and it's something that we're looking to do in February. I'm doing a charity hockey game for the U.S. and Canadian war vets with the Buffalo Sabre Warriors, and we're doing a game, and we want to do it in that type of way, in a way that it's fun again. It's a good time, like the Legends Classic at the Scotiabank Arena this year for the Legends Weekend. I was privileged to be able to cover that for this radio station,
yeah,
and it was a wonderful time. It was a fun time. It was great to see some of my favorite stars out skating, and that's kind of what we want to do with our game in February. Is we want to show the game for what it can be, and
yeah,
hopefully we'll be able to do that.
yeah. No, and you should have Captain Johnny drop the puck or sing
I
the
would
national
love it. I was going to wait and talk to you off air about that,
Yeah.
but we would actually be honored if we can. We've talked to Yves Barrett and we talked to Guido, and
Yeah.
seeing as you broached the subject, we will and you are cordially invited.
Oh,
We would
good.
love to have you come and drop the puck. We would love to have you come and sign autographs, say hello to the people, whatever you would like to do.
Yeah.
You are more than welcome on
Oh, I love it.
the night before the game. I will send you the information. On the night before the game, we are doing a concert for
Oh,
Stop Concussions.
oh, great.
We have a stand-up comedian. His name is Larry Smith. He's been on the Yuck Yuck circuit. He's opened up for some of the biggest stars down in the States as a comedian. And we have a gentleman named COVID Elvis.
Oh,
He will be performing his Elvis tribute show, and what he is a guy who does his show for charities and raises. He has people donate food to the local food banks, and what he does is he just goes to a park and says, "I'm going to be at this park. Bring some food. Come on by. We're going to have a good time," and that's what he does.
oh my
And the
gosh.
show is hosted by the one and only Carrie Goulet
Oh,
and Paul Rosen.
all right.
Well, you know, Frick and Frack are going to have a good time. And we'll
So
be
this is for
reviewing.
the veterans.
This will be on the Saturday night show. Will be for Stop Concussions. 100% of the funds.
Yeah.
I paid for everything, for the room, and the talent, and 100% of the proceeds that are raised from the show will go to Stop Concussions.
Oh, that's great.
I have post-concussion syndrome from football, and I just think it's something that Carrie is doing that I want to help in any way I can. And it's going to be a fun weekend, and hopefully we can get you down for part of it, all of it, whatever you would like to do, let me know.
Yeah. Just
And
give me the
we'll be
dates
glad
and
to have you come down.
yeah.
But getting back
And
to
where's
the
it going to be again?
Caledonia, Ontario, just outside Hamilton.
Oh, I know Hamilton very well.
Yes, and
One of the gigs I had, I actually sang Galt McDermott's Mass in F at the Hamilton Place opening
oh,
back in 1970
oh man, when was that? That was 70 something, wasn't it?
something.
Yeah,
It was the Ontario Youth Choir, the Hamilton Philharmonic Orchestra
yeah.
with Boris
Where's
Brott
Brought?
conducting, and it was Galt McDermott played keyboards, and Gordon Edwards played bass, and
Right.
Wilbur Baskin, and these great guitarists, and myself, Larry Marshall, and Nell Carter, and Salome Bay were soloists, and we sang the Mass in F. And you know what? I don't have a record of it
Oh man, that is a
because
shame.
it was in those days when you didn't record things. They didn't,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. And that was a great opening. I unfortunately didn't get to go to it, but I remember people that went to it. They said it was a wonderful time by everybody involved. And
Yeah, no, it was packed. It was amazing.
now, getting back to your concept, where we are running short on time
Oh,
with pond hockey. For your concept, you really don't need much, do you? You need
nope.
an ice surface,
I just
a
need
couple of
people.
nets,
I
and a
need
bunch
people to
of
agree
and a
to
bunch
play.
of people, and a
Yeah,
bunch of people. That's it. That's all you need.
yeah,
So the event that's happening in Berlin is on December the 8th. And I
yes,
know that on Facebook, I'll have to track it down and I'll get the link and put it out so people can follow it, where you can donate to the cause. And this is really going to be your first event as this concept. And I think it's going to be a success. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think that your concept is going to grow over time. And like I said to you, anything that I can do through the radio station or on my own, I would love to help out. And I think that is
terrific.
a great, great concept. And like I said, all you need is two nets, a bunch of people who want to have some fun and get out and freeze their rear ends off playing a sport that they love. And
Yeah,
that's all you need.
no
And
whiners.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, I want to thank you for taking some time for me today. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. I was supposed to meet you at the WHA reunion, but unfortunately couldn't make it.
Right.
And we have a mutual friend in Johnny Rockstar,
Yes, we have to say
Johnny
hi to
Hooten.
him.
Of course, we have to say hi to him. I understand that he took care of you over the course of the weekend, and you guys formed a friendship. It's very, very cool. He's a great, great guy.
He is.
And Johnny will be assistant coach for the KPHR No Stars
All right.
team, along with Paul Rosen, who will be the head coach. Kerry's playing in the game. So,
Wow.
so I'm going to torture him as well. And I want to thank you for taking some time. And is there anything you want to say to the listeners before we go?
Just enjoy your life. Enjoy your life as best you can.
All right. And with that, we want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. This has been Allan Nichols, the captain for your Charlestown Chiefs. And I want to thank you. In the meantime, we will be back in just a little bit with some more great stuff. You are listening to A Chat With on KPHR.